just about to into my IOP book I was revision on, and basing it off of different associations, different temporal disciplines throughout our entire existence. Yes. Psychology of Maslow, self-actualization is by the unity element. The most superior aspect of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, how this essentially occurs by one's manifestation of talent or potential. Esteem, position 4 is concerned with one's tendency to establish emotional continuity in the respect of someone's actions or words. Love belonging, section 3, is concerned with one's ability to establish social connections, whether promiscuous or platonic. Safety is concerned with one's ability to retain the overall consistency of their physical and sociological well-being. Physiological, section 1, is concerned with the tribulations or satisfactions of the limbic system, whether it is comprised by the following components: homeostasis, hunger, promiscuity, and excretion. Physiological. All capacities are put into the service of hunger satisfaction. The internal capacities is almost entirely determined by the purpose of satisfying hunger. The receptors and effectors, intelligence, memory habits, all may be defined simply as being gratifying tools. As stated by Maslow, deterioration progressing, I become absent-minded. Algernon died 2 days ago. My session shows my predictions were right. His brain had decreased in weight, and there was a general smoothing out of cerebral convolutions. The overall meaning behind the physiological components of Charlie Gordon is composed of his tendency, of his overall brain degeneration. So, for instance, his brain effectors showed absolute discontinuity over the course of his deterioration, thereby by the acceleration of his brain deterioration. However, his overall cerebral anguish did prevent previous optimal cognitive states. However, this served as the primary antecedent for his brain degeneration, as of course by the invasive procedures of the doctors, Dr. Muir and his colleagues. Safety needs. The healthy, normal, fortunate adult in our culture is already satisfied in his safety needs. The peaceful, smoothly running good society ordinarily makes its member feel safe. I've quit my job at Will Dongan's Plastic Box Company. Mr. Dongan insisted that, for all concerned, if I left, what did I do to pay me so? Yes. And so, continuing along with Charlie's ascent or descent of the hierarchy, the initial Charlie Gordon was only concerned with no actual components of his occupation. So, for instance, his occupation did not establish any sort of physical or mental complexity. However, the only things that he was really concerned about was the absolute maintenance of Will Dongan's Plastic Box Company. However, as he begins to regress in his cognitive state, he realizes that this overall environment was too safe for him. He wanted his overall association with the environment that he was initially put into actually beget his tendency to actually leave, thereby showing a state of maturity of the new Charlie Gordon. Love and belonging. Now the person will feel keenly, as never before, the absence of friends or a sweetheart. He will have affectionate visions with people in general. They move for a place in his group, and will strive for greatness as to achieve this goal. I do not want to think of that possibly any more than elderly people want to think of death. I know that this was only the beginning. I know that what she meant about love was because I had seen some of them already. The thought of leaving her made me sad. I'm in love with Miss Kinnigan. In such case, the love and belonging of Charlie Gordon is concentrated with his discernment of Miss Kinnigan's physiognomy. As children begin their orientation with the educational system, with their teachers and others, as children do not derive any promiscuous pleasure of their teachers in the visual sense. So, for instance, when one child is inquisited by a teacher's physiognomy, whether she is attractive or he or she is attractive in any sort of sense, the overall discernment is no, they are not able to define the overall purtitude of their educator. However, Charlie, in this case, as his IQ is increasing, he's able to discern all sorts of promiscuous attributes of miskinning. Esteem. All people in our society have a need or desire for a single firmly based high valuation for themselves, for self-respect, or self-esteem, or for the esteem of others. It is a strange situation to pick up a book that you've read and enjoyed just a few months ago and discover that you don't remember it. I remember how great John Milton was, but when I read Paradise Lost, I couldn't understand it at all. So, for instance, one may recollect that Charlie Gordon was able to supersede the actual cognitive states of Dr. New York and his fellow colleagues. In such case, he derived pleasure from actually becoming more intelligent than Dr. New York by discounting his overall discernment of reality in a psychological sense. However, Charlie was able to establish an equidistant place in the field of psychology, discipline of psychology, to other instances of mental asceticism. So, for instance, of literature, of terminology, of any other type of sciences. So, overall, Charlie increases his esteem throughout his entire cognitive journey. For Job syntax, I said Miss Kenny never gave me tests like that. The only spelling and reading, they said Miss Kenny told that I was a business people in Yale Night School because I tried my hardest and I really wanted to learn. He said, how you went to night school, all right, so Charlie. Whereas Charlie said, as his intelligence grew, how was I to know that I highly respected externalities like the Muir was free from destiny in Chinese? It's absurd when you consider the work that is being done in India and China today in a very difficult study. So, for instance, Charlie goes from mispronouncing and misspelling all categories of words. So, for instance, nouns, pronouns, and the overall ambiguity of paragraph 1. So, for instance, he states, they said Miss Kenyon told that I was her bestest pupil in the Yale Night School. However, the term best is overall concentrated in how paramount something is, whether it be an object or a concept. However, when he uses the word bestest, he basically establishes a term of redundancy with the portrayal of the word best. Self-actualization, overall, is not achieved by Charlie because of his brain degeneration. So, for instance, all the esteem, all the previous hierarchies situated throughout the entire book is essentially negated by his degenerative process. So, for instance, he states, even if all these esteem needs are satisfied, we may still often find ways except that new discontent and resistance will soon develop unless the individual is doing what he is fated for. Whereas Charlie accounts, I try to read a little bit every day, mostly stories, but sometimes I have read the same thing over and over again because I don't know what it means, and it's hard to write. So in such case, Charlie's overall purpose throughout the entire work was overall trying to attempt to reach a high level of mental asceticism, thus of anyone throughout history. For instance, Leonardo da Vinci, his niche was art, and as well as other Renaissance thinkers. Their entire niche was overall trying to achieve some sort of mental asceticism by different types of learning, such as kinesthetic learning and other types of learning. Hitler's T4 program. Hitler's T4 program overall was enacted throughout Nazi Germany because of his tendency to actually want to supersede authority over all the other types of people. For instance, exclusively the mentally regressed population in Nazi Germany at the time. So, for instance, as you can see here, Hitler tried many different things, such as euthanasia, throughout all the populations of Nazi Germany. So, for instance, he deemed in Darwinian philosophy that only the strongest will survive, and for instance, he referred to the Aryan people as most physically and mentally advanced people of Middle Earth. So, for instance, anyone that was underneath the superiority of the Aryan race or subjected to instances of death. So for instance over here, you have the Nazi doctor leading a man to his final moments of life. So for instance, he's actually leading and advocating the overall killings of the mentally ill people of Nazi Germany. Over here, we have a dichotomous portrait of Hitler and Darwin, coalescing their visages together. So for instance, Hitler was in one and the same of Darwin. So for instance, Hitler was the more bellicose Darwin of his era. As you can see here, one can discern this as a Nazi interpretation of the Victorian man. The Victorian man in the Italian Renaissance was overall deemed as the most perfect man, the most perfect being that can possibly exist. However, of the degrees and orientations situated in the Victorian man's sculpture or picture, you have the Paramount Aryan man situated, encapsulated in a swastika within the Victorian circle. Medical practice. Two chimps, Fulton and Jacobson, two chimps referred to as Becky and Lucy were subjected to ascertain proof for a paper experiment. Lucy was considered malicious and was postulated to possess a suboptimal frontal lobe. Due to this discernment, neurologists surgically negated the presence of the frontal lobe, consequently began Becky's obscure serenity. Purpose of the frontal lobe, the perpetration of movement, language, and higher cognitive process. Lucy's, due to absence of frontal lobe, lacks the ability to procure information, therefore apathy pertaining to the food was consistently adopted by the indolent chimp. Overall, the medical procedures enacted by Fulton and Jacobson shows our tendency as society to want to basically negate any sort of detrimentality that we may be confronted with. So for instance, any cases of mental retardation. In the case of Charlie Gordon, the doctors actually wanted to basically negate his retardation, his mental regression with the act of wanting to achieve a nuance in cognitive thought for any human being. So for instance, as scientists, as medical practitioners, their main goal is to try to negate any sort of detrimentality that's situated within humanity. In such case, Charlie Gordon's overall tribulation was that of mental regression, and how the doctors wanted to negate that by a predominantly malicious medical procedure. So overall, we have this quote here, derived from the book Thoughts of Algernon. I'm not sure what an IQ is. Dr. Muir said it was something that measured how intelligent you are, like a skill in a drugstore weighs pounds. But Dr. Strauss had a big argument and said an IQ didn't measure intelligence at all. He said an IQ showed how much intelligence you could get, like the numbers inside a measuring cup. You still had to fill the cup up with the stuff. The case determined for this procedure is as followed. Although Gordon experienced exponential growth in intelligence quotient degeneration, his brain equates to the unprecedented facilitation of complex information. As a result, surgery is a process of being prone to experimentation rather than medically sound action. So for instance, as we all know, Charlie Gordon was in fact killed off by this procedure. However, most practitioners would be absolutely joyous to learn that their overall procedure actually helped a man in his final moments to achieve a great sense of mental aesthetics. Yes? Do you have a question?
1 minute left.
Yes, okay. Of mental aesthetics. So for instance, Charlie, despite his the fleeting purpose of his journey, he was actually able to ascertain enough information to actually pull that into the psychological community, as well as for his own sake of his own esteem. So for instance, he actually enjoyed trying to outnumber the capabilities of Dr. Muir and his colleagues, and how he was able to articulate as well as discern complex faculties of information and whatnot. So this concludes my IOP presentation. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions, Mr. Harris?